When I have the late night munchies, I hungrily hurry to the pantry where I regularly face temptation about what I will choose to eat. Sometimes the choices go something like this: spaghetti sauce versus Reese's peanut butter cup. I must confess, between the two, it's Reese's every time. On a more serious note, 1 Corinthians 10:13 says, temptation is common to man. In other words, real temptation is something everyone faces. Your grandpa, your brother, your pastor, your friend, and truth be told, what they face is probably not a lot different than the temptations you face. But have you ever had temptation slap you in the face? I mean, hit you so hard with such force that you could almost physically feel it? I have. Joseph did too when Mrs. Potiphar came at him and brazenly said, "Sleep with me." Those intense moments are challenging, almost overwhelming. But the latter part of 1 Corinthians 10:13 assures us God is faithful, who will make a way to escape that you may be able to bear it. I hope you caught that. Every time there's a victorious pathway through, every time. But it won't happen by accident. In fact, in those moments, it will be critically important that we have heeded the challenge I heard as a teenager: decide before you have to decide. That way, when you have to decide, there really is no decision. It's called resolve, and we won't overcome strong temptation without it. Joseph was a wonderful example of this. It is obvious as we examine his life that there came a point in his journey where he established his spiritual direction. It could have been when his family experienced revival at Bethel, or maybe after his father wrestled with God at Peniel. Whenever it transpired, what we know is that it happened. The question was settled. Joseph was going to be a godly man. Genesis 39:8 tells us Joseph refused. True resolve must always become actual refusal. A no to that image, thought, or attitude that reverberates so clearly that earth, hell, and heaven all know you mean it. Too many say no to temptation like many of us say no to our favorite dessert. Convince me just a little more and I'll probably say yes. With real temptation, that will never work. I wish I could assure you that if you just say no and really mean it, Mrs. Potiphar will never come back. But the scripture informs us that Joseph had to redirect day after day as she sought to bring him down. He experienced ongoing victory by doing his best to stay away from her. Often the best way to overcome temptation is to adjust our actions, influences, habits, or vulnerabilities in such a way that we avoid temptation as much as possible. But contrary to Joseph's best efforts, Mrs. Potiphar eventually outwitted Joseph, grabbed him and said, "Lie with me." In this defining, difficult moment, Joseph did the manliest thing he could have done. He ran. He escaped. He won. You see, Joseph lost his coat of position, but he kept his character and position with God, and that's victory. Interestingly, Joseph's actions in that crucible simply mirrored the steps of victory he had already been practicing. And the truth remains that every man who by the power of God resolves, refuses, and redirects finds that God makes a way of escape every time. Remember, temptation is common to all, but all can overcome.